What if I told you nothing in life is free? Not dreams, not success, not even peace of mind. Everything has a price. You must pay with effort, with time, and with heart. Every dream you chase demands something back. And that's where true growth begins. Today, we're not just practicing English, we're learning about courage, about fire, about the power of never giving up. Through the story of a young man named Leo. Leo was 20 years old, living in a quiet mountain town. His world was small, but his dreams were too big for silence. He wanted to own restaurants, to build a business, to make his family proud. But dreams don't feed you, hard work does. His father, Mark, was a mechanic. His mother, Claire, cleaned houses. His little sister, Sophie, only 10, called him her hero. One cold evening, Leo sat outside their small home, eyes on the stars. "How can I dream?" he whispered. "When we barely survive?" The next day, he shared his dream with his father. Mark sighed, then said words Leo would never forget. "Dreams are not free, son. If you want something, fight for it. Start with what you have, even if it's small." That single sentence lit a fire inside Leo's chest. He began to look around his town. People loved fresh bread, but they had to travel far to buy it. A simple idea was born. What if I sell bread here, he thought. But Leo had no money, no savings, no help, just belief and the will to try. He walked miles to the nearest bakery, owned by a grumpy old man named Mr. Anderson. The smell of bread filled the air like hope. Leo stood straight and said, "Sir, I want to sell your bread in my town. I can't pay up front, but trust me for 1 week. I'll sell the bread, return your money, and keep a small profit." Mr. Anderson frowned, his eyes sharp and doubtful. "Why should I trust you?" Leo answered. "Because I'll prove myself." The room went silent. After a moment, the old man nodded slowly. 1 week. Don't fail me. The next morning, Leo returned home carrying bags of bread and a heart full of determination. The real test was about to begin. He set up a small stand near the park, smiling at strangers passing by. "Fresh bread, warm and soft," he called out with hope. At first, people ignored him. Some smiled politely, others walked away. But Leo didn't stop. He offered free samples with a grin. The smell drew them closer, one by one. They tried his bread. By evening, he had sold everything. For the first time, he made a profit. That night, Leo walked miles back to the bakery and handed the money to Mr. Anderson. "Here, sir, every coin, just as promised." The old man's face softened. "You kept your word. Come back tomorrow." That moment changed Leo forever. Trust was earned, not given. From then on, Leo woke at 4 a.m. every day. He walked through rain and cold to fetch bread. No excuses, no shortcuts, just grit. 2 months passed. He saved enough to buy a small cart, making it easier to carry more bread. Progress came slowly, but it came. One morning, a kind customer said, "Leo, you're good at selling. Why not bake your own bread?" The question hit him like thunder. He had never baked before. The idea scared him. But he realized nothing is free. Not skill, not success, not change. If he wanted to grow, he had to learn. Even if it meant starting from zero again. Fear couldn't stop him anymore. The next day, Leo stood once more at Mr. Anderson's bakery. "Sir," he said, "can you teach me how to bake?" Mr. Anderson crossed his arms. "Why should I? If you bake, you'll stop buying from me. That's bad for business." Leo didn't flinch. "You helped me once. I'll never forget that. If I succeed, I'll make sure your bakery grows too." The old man stared at him for a long time, then finally nodded. "Fine, but baking isn't easy. Be ready to suffer a little." The next morning, Leo arrived at 3 a.m. before the sun even touched the sky. Mr. Anderson was already waiting with flour and fire, And so the lessons began. Quiet, heavy, painful. Flour on his hands, sweat on his brow, mistakes piling up faster than success. He kneaded the dough until his arms ached. Sometimes the bread came out too hard, sometimes too soft. Each failure cut deep into his pride. One night, exhausted, Leo sat on the floor of the bakery. "Maybe I'm not good enough," he whispered. Doubt wrapped around him like cold air. But then, his father's words echoed again. "Dreams are not free." Leo clenched his fists. "If I quit now, I lose everything I've learned." The next morning, he started again, step by step. Mistake by mistake, his hands grew stronger, his heart more patient, his bread better. 2 weeks later, Mr. Anderson handed him a golden loaf. "This is perfect," he said. Leo smiled, his eyes shining with quiet victory. He rented a small oven and began baking at home. His family helped. Sophie packed bread. Claire made tea. Mark cheered silently. Soon, the town began to talk. "Leo's bread tastes different," they said. "It's full of warmth." Word spread faster than the smell of his bakery. For the first time, Leo felt pride, not just in success, but in how far he had come. The taste of effort was sweeter than profit. Months passed. Customers lined up at his stand. Children smiled when they saw him. Leo had turned an idea into a future, but life never stops testing you when you start to rise. One day, a new bakery opened, bigger, brighter, owned by a young man named Eric. Eric's shop was beautiful, filled with colors and glass displays. People rushed there, curious and excited. Leo's sales began to fall fast. Fear whispered, "It's over." But instead of giving in, Leo decided to learn. He visited Eric's shop, pretending to be a customer. He looked around carefully. The place was clean, modern, artistic. His cakes were beautiful, his signs bold. Leo took notes silently. Then he asked his customers, "What do you like about Eric's bakery?" Some said, "It looks nice." Others said, "His cakes are prettier." Leo didn't complain. He improved. He repainted his cart, added colors, cleaned every corner, and smiled wider than ever before. He even visited the library, watching videos on cake decoration, learning late into the night. He wasn't just a seller now. He was a learner. Weeks later, people started returning. They said, "Leo's bread feels alive." He didn't just sell bread. He sold hope and hard work. One evening, an old woman stopped by and said, "Many young men give up when things get hard. You didn't. That's why we trust you." Her words stayed with him. They weren't praise. They were truth. Perseverance builds trust faster than talent ever could. Months rolled by. Leo's little stand had grown into a dream. He saved enough money to rent a small shop in the center of town. It wasn't big, but it was warm. The walls smelled of butter and faith. He named it proudly, Leo's Fresh Bakes. Every morning before sunrise, he baked with love. Every evening, he closed with gratitude. His family worked beside him, every step. Sophie greeted customers, cheerful as ever. Claire handled accounts. Mark helped fix things when they broke. The bakery became their second home, but just when everything seemed perfect, life decided to test him again. Because nothing worth keeping comes without challenge. One stormy night, lightning flashed across the town. Rain poured heavily as Leo closed his shop. Then he smelled smoke, sharp and real. He ran inside. Flames were rising from the back near the oven. His heart pounded. He grabbed water, fought the fire with everything he had. Finally, the flames died out, but so did his equipment. The oven was gone. The shelves were black. His dream looked broken again. The next morning, people gathered outside. Some whispered, "Poor Leo," others said, "Maybe this is the end for him." The pain stung. Leo stood in front of his damaged bakery, soaked in ash and silence. Then, slowly, he said, "This is not the end. It's just another test." He looked at his hands, the same hands that built everything from nothing. He couldn't quit now. He'd come too far to stop. He counted his savings. It wasn't enough to fix everything. Fear crawled in again, but courage stood taller this time. Leo went to visit Mr. Anderson, who had retired by then. "Sir," he asked, "what would you do if this happened to you?" The old man smiled. "Leo, you already know. Work harder. Believe in yourself. People will believe in you too." Those words reignited something inside him. He returned home, cleaned what was left, and started baking again using the small oven he still had. He told his customers, "I'll keep baking for you, even if it's just a few loaves each day." His voice was tired, but his spirit was strong. People noticed. They respected his fight. Slowly, the town began to help. Some brought ingredients. Others gave money or a few hours of labor. Leo realized something powerful. When you help yourself first, the world helps you too. Hard work attracts kindness like a magnet. After months of rebuilding, his bakery reopened. It was brighter, cleaner, stronger than before. He added muffins, cupcakes, and new flavors. The reopening day felt like a celebration. Families came, children laughed, and the smell of bread filled the air like hope reborn. That morning, even the mayor visited. "Leo," he said, "you've shown us all that with determination. Anything is possible." Leo stood in front of the crowd, eyes shining. "I started with nothing," he said. "No money, no skill, just a dream. My father once told me, dreams are not free." He was right. Nothing is free. Not success, not respect, not love. You must earn them through effort, patience, and persistence. Every failure is not an end, but a lesson in disguise. The crowd fell silent, listening to every word. They weren't hearing a speech. They were feeling the truth of a man who had fought his way up. Leo looked around the bakery, at the faces smiling back at him. "Don't wait for help," he said. "Start where you are. Use what you have. Work hard, and people will notice. Help yourself first, and the world will meet you halfway." His voice was steady, full of quiet fire. The crowd cheered. Some clapped. Some cried. Sophie ran to him, hugging his waist. "You did it, Leo." He smiled. "No, we did. That day." Leo's bakery became more than a shop. It became a symbol of what hard work, courage, and faith could create from nothing. People from other towns came to visit. They wanted to meet the young man who never gave up, who turned failure into a foundation. Leo didn't just sell bread. He sold inspiration. Every loaf carried a story. Every smile carried a reminder. Nothing is free, and yet, that truth was beautiful. Not cruel. Because when you pay with effort, you earn something greater, growth, and meaning. Leo often shared his story with children in the town. "Don't fear small beginnings," he said. "Big things start small, just like a seed." He taught them that mistakes are teachers, not enemies. Each burned loaf had made him better. Each setback had made him stronger. Now, let's talk about you. Maybe you're learning English right now, repeating phrases, struggling with pronunciation, wondering if it's even worth it. Maybe you failed a few times. Maybe you feel like you're too slow, too late, too tired to keep going. But listen, you are not. Every small effort counts. Every word you practice builds your future, just like Leo's bread. Growth takes patience and heat. You don't learn English in one day. You don't master life in one step. You grow through time, through mistakes, through trying again. So don't stop. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep showing up. You are baking your own success story. one lesson at a time. Because here's the truth, nothing is free. But every time you try, you invest in yourself, and that investment always returns something. When you speak one new word confidently, when you understand one new phrase, that's your victory. That's proof your effort matters. Leo, learn to bake. You can learn to speak, to grow, to lead your own journey. All it takes is faith in progress, not perfection. The world doesn't owe you anything, but it rewards those who show up, who work hard, who never stop learning. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be persistent. You just need to take one more step than yesterday. Leo failed many times before he succeeded once, and that one success changed everything. The same will happen for you. Keep going. Even when it's slow, keep fighting. Even when no one sees your effort, because one day, the results will speak louder. And when they do, you'll realize it was never luck. It was you, your effort, your persistence, your refusal to quit. So, what's your dream? To speak English fluently? To change your job? To build something of your own? Then start now, even if it's small. Don't wait for perfect timing. Start with what you have, right where you are. Small steps create big shifts. Every time you say, I can't, remember Leo. He couldn't afford bread once. Now he owns a bakery. Every time you fail, remember, failure isn't final. It's feedback. It's proof that you're still in the game. Every time you want to quit, ask yourself, what if I try one more time? Because maybe that time changes everything. Nothing is free, but everything is possible. When you believe, when you work, when you never give up. This is Soulful English, where you learn English, but also learn to live with purpose, to speak with courage, to grow with heart. Subscribe, like, and share this story, because someone out there needs a reminder that hard work still matters and hope still wins. Keep learning, keep believing, keep building the life you deserve. Because the world belongs to those who refuse to give up. Nothing is free, but everything is possible.